Finally on my way. It's about 6:30. Had trouble with my back tire again. Had to put air in it. It's got a slow leak. So far it's holding up pretty decent. I just have to put air in it about halfway through the day, and then that's good for the rest of the day. So it was a good night at the church. Had everything I needed there. Very appreciative of them to let me stay there. So now I'm heading to Gary, West Virginia, I guess is my new destination. There's a bed and breakfast there. So I'm hoping to get there. I can't make any reservations or anything, or even call them. There's no service here. So I think my plan now is there's no way that I can make my warm showers host
onto County Route 1/5 Bolt RT Raven Cliff Road
in Abingdon, Virginia. I'd have to ride 130 miles today to do that. Oh crap, here comes the elevation right now. Oh. Anyway, so I canceled with them, but they said I could stay there Thursday night if that works out. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to get halfway today and the rest of the way tomorrow and stay there. Then Friday morning, get back on the road, and then have Patty pick me up on the way. So she'll probably be
in 1¼ miles. Continue straight
most of the day before she gets down there. So anyway, that's the plan. Oh my gosh, I've gone 1.1 miles, and I started out at elevation of 1920, and I'm now at 2175. So I don't know what's the math on that. 1,500 feet in a mile, a little over a mile. Somebody do the math on that. I think it's 4,300 feet in a mile. So you take the elevation divided by the distance traveled, that gives you the grade. All I know is it's steep. Starting to level out here a little bit. I need to correct myself on that elevation. I don't know what I was thinking. I had climbed 1,500 feet in a mile. That would have been pretty impressive. I don't think Lance Armstrong on his best day with his motor and his PEDs could have done that. Anyway, I was tired, and it's early. But anyway, ended up climbing I think 340 feet in 2 miles, so still like an 8% grade for 2 miles. It's steep, but I've been on a flat here for a good 3 miles, so maybe it's I'm gonna have 7 miles of flat, and then I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to go back up at some point. Well, I know I am. My Garmin says that I've got a peak of 2,600 feet at some point, so you know, I only made it to 2,300 feet there and then came back down. So at some point I got to go back up. So we'll see how that goes. So I stopped for second breakfast here at a BP station. I think it's Sourville, West Virginia. I'm not sure. But anyway, had a sausage sandwich and apple fry pie. Wasn't too bad. So far the day is going pretty good. A lot of climbing. I've done over 1,000 feet already, and I've only gone 13 miles, so, and a lot more to do today. I called a bed and breakfast that I got the name of in Gary, West Virginia, and they said they are no longer a business. I guess because of taxes or something, I don't know. But they they said I could still come, but they don't charge anything, and it's just what she called a love offering. If we want to give something, we can. So bed and breakfast sounds good to me. I'd be glad to give them some money. So that's good. That's it. That was my biggest concern, finding a place to stay tonight, because there's nothing around to camp or anything else. I'd like to go further down the road, but there's just nothing out there. So Baldwin Branch Road. Wonder if the Baldwin sisters live down there making their moonshine. This must be Walton's Mountain here. Maybe I can stop at Ike Godsey's general store and get me a bottle of water at the top. I just finished a big climb. It's like 2.75 miles. I think 850 feet of elevation gain. So that was it wasn't too bad. It was, I don't know, it seems like I've had worse. It was long, but wasn't as steep as some of these. So found a nice pile of rocks to sit on. Anyway, I've gone about 34 miles now so far this morning. I think it's around 11:30. It's all about 2,000 feet of elevation, and it looks like I'll go down. Probably everything I just gained, I'll give back. It'll be a nice downhill, but that's the way it goes. Just go up one hill and then right back down. Welch, I think is how they pronounce it here, is right at the bottom of this hill, which was my goal yesterday. So I guess I quit about 4:30 or so last night when that storm come through. So I would have had another 4 hours of riding. So you know, if I would have tried to make that after the storm, I wouldn't have gotten into that motel until probably 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. And I'd have been riding in the dark here on these mountain roads, so it was good to stop. So anyway, I'm hoping I can get some lunch at the bottom of the hill and some water. I just spilled half my water out of my bottle here. So I'd like to refresh that. I put the liquid IV packs in today, which I guess they're good, but I can't stand the taste of them, so I'd much rather have just plain old cold water. So anyway, check in later. There's the Pocahontas Motel. That's where I was supposed to stay last night. Didn't look too bad. So I stopped here at the Sterling Drive-In restaurant. Not sure if you can see that or not. Anyway, sign says to flash your lights for curbside service. I've been flashing my lights out here for 5 minutes. Nobody's coming out. So I guess I'll go in and sit down. Well, I made it to Gary. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. This is where I said I was going to quit. I got that bed and breakfast lined up, but I'm thinking about heading down to the next town, Tazewell. I think it's another 35 miles maybe, but probably 3,500 feet of elevation as well, which will be tough, but would make tomorrow a lot easier. So anyway, well, there's not much here in Gary. I was thinking I'd get a milkshake and ponder what to do over a milkshake. So we'll see. Well, I made up my mind. The smart thing to do is probably stay here in Gary, but I've never been accused of doing anything smart, so I'm gonna push on. And Google Maps says it's only 29 miles. Should take me, they say, 3 hours and 29 minutes. I don't know about that. They said moderate hills, so we'll see how that goes. But my daughter found me a fairly cheap motel, 70 bucks. So I think I'm gonna take that and crash there for tonight and get an early start tomorrow, and it should be an easier day. So I just didn't feel like hanging out there in Gary for the rest of the night. I mean, there's just nothing there. It's post office and Dollar General, that's about it. Nothing, no restaurant or anything. Not even a place to get a milkshake. So on to Tazewell. Railroad tracks and rivers. That's what I like to see, because you know that's going to be fairly flat following them. I got a river on my right, railroad tracks on the left. We'll see how long that lasts. I don't know if you can see that or not, but they have one of those signs at every one of these coal mine entrances. Ambulance entrance. I guess you know you're in a dangerous line of work when you got to have a special entrance for the ambulance. Well, I think I made it to the highest point of in West Virginia anyway that I'm going to go. my elevation chart showed it just under 2,600 feet, I think. So here my Garmin says 2552. That last climb was like 3.5 miles and 1,300 feet of elevation gain. And you probably can't tell the elevation from this, but the last mile was like a 12% grade. Whether you can see that sign, I think, that says trucks 12% grade. So it's accurate. But I like that sign better. I get a 12% grade downhill. I don't know how many miles that is. Well, 1 mile for the 12%, but the whole hill goes longer than that. And I believe that my destination is at the bottom of that hill, or at least not too far from it. So I'm looking for a nice cold shower and a good meal and a good night's sleep.
Slight left.
You're kidding me. Oh, I want to go downhill, not uphill. Well, I was wrong. My destination was not at the bottom of that hill. Actually I had to do another climb. This one even bigger. This was 2,616 feet, but I'm now in Virginia. So it says I've got 10 more miles to go. So hopefully it's 10 miles of downhill or flat or something, because I'm getting tired. So it's kind of an unwritten rule that bike tourists are responsible for helping turtles across the road. So whenever we come across a turtle, we try to help him out. So this guy looks like he's confused. He doesn't know where he's going, but I'm assuming he's going to try to go over here and get down here in this creek. So there you go, buddy. Safe travels. Well, I finally made it to my hotel, which isn't a bad place. It was only 68 bucks, so I've stayed in a lot worse for a lot more. So it's got a good bed, the air conditioning works, I'm sure the shower works. So I was getting a little worried though, because I went through town and GPS was taking me clear on the other side of town, and I thought for sure I was going to end up at a dead end or something. But it was here, and they had a vacancy, so it was a hard day, but I'm glad I went the extra, 35 miles, because that's going to make my day tomorrow a lot easier. So my bike with GPS says I did 75.6 miles and 4,890 feet of elevation gain, but my Garmin says I only did 71 miles and 71.43 miles, and now it went away, and 4,998 feet of elevation. But I think maybe that got turned on later. But anyway, a lot of elevation. I ride 100 miles back home and I don't feel this tired at all. But I usually only get about 2,500 to 3,000 feet of elevation gain back in Ohio. So anyway, I'm gonna, there's an Italian restaurant I passed on the way in, so I'm gonna get a quick shower and get up there and get some food, and there's an ice cream place right next door, so I will be having some of that. So checking out for tonight.